what's up you guys? It's me, Lexi, and if you're watching this video today on Tuesday, August 26th, it is my 25th birthday. Even though I don't normally upload on Tuesdays, I figured, you know, why the heck not, okay? Today is a special occasion, and I figured what better way to celebrate my birthday than to show you guys how I made the cake for my photo shoot. So for those of you guys who are new here, every year for my birthday since I've turned 22, I've done a photo shoot. And this year, I decided to make a fake cake as a prop for the photo shoot. So if you're interested to see how I made this fake cake for my birthday photo shoot, keep on watching. So in order to make this fake cake, there are a few things you're gonna need. The first thing you're gonna need is a box of some sort. I got this heart-shaped box from Michael's back in March when they were doing their Valentine's Day clearance sale, but I'm sure you can find a similar one on Amazon. You're gonna need a cake spatula or something to frost the cake with, as well as a cake turntable. Mine was a little dirty, we're not gonna talk about that. Then you're gonna need 2 containers of patch and paint or any type of lightweight spackling. You can easily get this at Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart, but it honestly just depends on the size of your box, how many containers you'll need. You're gonna need some acrylic paint for the color of the frosting, some fake cherries I got from Amazon, some spray paint, and some gloves. This step is optional, but I just wanted to make my cherries a different color, as well as these cake toppers I got from Dollar Tree. So as I said before, this step is completely optional, but the first thing I did was I went ahead and I spray painted the cherries gold, just because I didn't feel like the red would go well with the design I was going for. You don't have to do this, but if you're gonna do this, definitely make sure you have some gloves on, because as you will see, I originally started doing this without gloves, and then I had to go back and get gloves because my hands started to get stained, and it took a really long time to get off of my hands. So make sure you have some gloves on deck, and also make sure that you tape up the stems of the cherries. That is the first thing I did. I did that off camera, but I showed that at the beginning of the clip because you do not want to get any spray paint on the stems of the cherries. And this obviously goes without saying, but please make sure you do your spray painting in a well-ventilated area, just because you do not want those fumes lingering in your house or your room. So once I was done spray painting the cherries, I just let them sit and dry overnight and got on to the main event, which was frosting the cake. The first thing I did here was I mixed in the paint with the patch and paint. Specifically, I did orange first, and then I added in a little bit of yellow because I was going for a very golden orange type of color. You will see the inspiration photo in just a second, but it took a while. I was probably mixing colors for like 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I achieved the color that I wanted, so I began frosting the cover of the box. However, it was a Valentine's Day box with a slit in it for Valentine's, and I thought I could just paint over it and cover it up, but the patch and paint ended up sliding into the slit, so I had to get some tape and tape up the back and start all over, and that was a little frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. And then I was watching Big Brother and didn't realize that my camera had died, so that's why it kind of cuts off very abruptly. Here is what it looked like in the morning after drying overnight. The next morning, I started on the bottom of the box, and what's really unfortunate is I got halfway through it and then realized I never actually hit record on my camera, so that is why you see half of it done already. But then as I was working on it, my camera once again died. My camera has a very low battery, so my camera just like kept dying. So this is me working on the bottom. I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and yeah. I'm telling you right now, guys, this was a 3-day project, and this is what the box looked like by the end of the second night when I finally finished it. And this is what it looked like in the morning once it had dried overnight. Now we are officially on day 3, and it's time to start the piping. I used what little bit of patch and paint I had left from the box and mixed that with half of the second container of patch and paint, and then added in orange paint and red paint because I wanted a deep orange for the frosting. So I once again was mixing for I think that time around I was mixing for 45 minutes until I finally achieved the color I wanted. Then I bagged it and was ready to start piping. This was my 4th time ever attempting to pipe, and I know from like my days of taking baking classes in high school that piping is just not my strong suit. It is not. I can do everything else. Piping, I'm just not good at. And it's good to know your strengths and know your weaknesses. But I still was determined to try my best and do something. And I have to say, like, it is so hard. Like, they make it look so easy on the Food Network, or even like, you know, the pastry chefs that pop up on like Instagram reels. Like, they make it look so easy. It was so difficult. I was probably doing this for like 2 or 3 hours. And this is how it turned out. But don't forget, this is not the final product because we still have to put the cherries on. So I started unraveling the tape off of the cherry stems, and that was super difficult because at that point, like, it had the spray paint on top of it, so it just started to like stick to the stems a little bit, and I was having a really hard time taking them off. And once all of the cherries were laid out on the cake, I was super impressed with the way it turned out. I'm not gonna lie, I originally intended to do piping on the bottom as well. However, I was very much cutting it close. I finished this maybe 2 hours before my photo shoot, so I just knew I wouldn't have time to do the bottom. But once I put the cake toppers on, this was the finished product, and I have to say, I really like the way it turned out. I'm very proud of myself for the way it turned out. And I've made some fake cakes in the past, like you can see the lemon one in the back, but this is definitely my favorite one. So overall, I am super satisfied with the results. So that was the end of the video, and if you want to see the pictures, you have to go over to my Instagram at @YourGuillemette, and hey, follow me while you're over there. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter at @LoserLikeLex, where I'm currently tweeting about Big Brother. And listen, I never do this because I always tell you guys, subscribe or don't, I don't care. But since today is my birthday, I am going to ask you guys to subscribe. That is my one birthday wish, okay? I'm probably not even gonna get a cake this year, a real cake. So my one birthday wish is that you, yes you, I'm talking to you, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That does it for me. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my birthday, and I will see you guys not next week, but the week after. Bye.